What are the pros and cons of living in Waterdown you need to know about before moving here? Well, in today's video, after creating countless videos about Waterdown, helping dozens of families relocate here, I've narrowed it down to the top 20 pros and cons you need to know about, from the real estate to the shopping, the schools, the safety, the parks, the entertainment, as well as some key cons you will want to know before making the move here. Now, before we jump into some of the cons, let's first discuss the first pro, which is its location. As it's situated between two larger cities of both Hamilton and Burlington, while technically a part of Hamilton, it really is tucked a bit closer to Burlington overall. So this is one of the reasons why it's a perfect community for any families who want a peace and quiet of a smaller town while still enjoying some amenities of a larger city, while also offering a variety of real estate to choose from. Now, this can be considered a pro or con depending on what you compare it to, as if we see how the sales break down in Hamilton in total, as you can see, Waterdown only made up 6% of the total real estate sold in Hamilton, which is definitely on the lower end. Now, with that said, the variety of real estate you're going to be finding in Waterdown is really in two chunks for detached homes. You're going to find some of those original neighborhoods that were built in the 80s and 90s and offering those two-story detached homes, a few townhomes to choose from, but you'll also notice a few other pockets of brand new detached homes and townhomes. Now, in terms of condos, there's not many matches here. However, there are a couple older buildings as well as one larger building to choose from. As you can see with this pie chart, 47% of the sales were detached homes, another 38% were townhomes, and only 15% of condos in the last 12 months. And then another con associated with Waterdown, but just in Hamilton in general, is going to be the property taxes associated. Now, this really, again, depends on where you're comparing the property taxes to, as if you're comparing it to the other areas of Hamilton, like Stony Creek, Ancaster, Dundas, the Hamilton Mountain, it's going to be the exact same. However, if you're comparing it to Burlington or Oakville, it is going to be slightly higher, whereas if you're coming from the Niagara region or up north, you could find them a little bit lower. As you can see here, in the most recent study done in 2024 on property taxes, Hamilton, which Waterdown is a part of, was rated 20th out of the 30 cities they looked at across Canada. Now, if you want to learn more about what the real estate costs are in Waterdown, as well as the other pros and cons, make sure you keep on watching. But if you are new here and want to learn everything about what it's like living in Hamilton, Burlington, and Oakville, and the surrounding cities, make sure to hit the subscribe button. My name is Matthew, the founding realtor of the Living in Hamilton channel and team, and for the past couple of years, been helping people just like yourselves relocate here and buy a home. So if you're thinking about making the move and want help from a local professional, send me and my team a message today, regardless if you're 60 days out or 6 months out. Now, one of the next pros about living in Waterdown is the amazing shopping options, as you will find that small, charming downtown, which we'll discuss all the local gems in just a second, but you're also going to get a lot of large city amenities. Now, it's not going to have everything, but thankfully, you're only a short drive away from the rest of Hamilton or Burlington. But with that said, within Waterdown, you're going to find one major shopping plaza really on the west side along Dundas in the Smart Center shopping plaza. And this one here includes a Walmart, a Staples, a Rona, and then just across the street, you'll find a Canadian Tire, a Mark's Work Warehouse, a Sports Check, No Frills, as well as a bunch of different restaurants. And then the other major shopping area you're going to be noticing outside of the downtown area is along Hamilton Street. As here, you're going to find two smaller plazas that offer a Fortino's, a Shoppers Drug Mart, a Sobeys, as well as a bunch of other smaller shops. And these plazas here will really help you get all your basic amenities needed. But if you are looking for where the most charming, most local gems are, that's going to be in downtown Waterdown, which brings me on to the next pro, just the charming atmosphere that downtown Waterdown has to offer you, as it has all these old 1800 buildings for you to go check out and walk and explore these streets. Now, with that said, there's definitely some cons associated with downtown Waterdown, which we will talk on in just a second. But some of my personal favorite local gems in Waterdown's downtown area is first Mill Street and 5 American House to grab some food and listen to a live band. And this has been a staple in the Waterdown community since 1824. Then you'll also find the Royal Coachman, an amazing British pub to grab some fish and chips as well as a cold beer. You have Pickwick Books to go grab a great secondhand book at a great price. You also have the Copper Kettle Cafe to sit down, grab a coffee, as well as, in my opinion, some of the best apple fritters in all of Hamilton. So those were my favorite local gems found in downtown Waterdown. However, you will find a few other local gems you'll need to check out when living in Waterdown, which brings me on to the next pro, a few other local businesses. As here, you're gonna find Pickard's, which is some amazing old-fashioned candy, or also, in my personal opinion, the best nut selection in terms of trail mix, salted nuts, seasoned nuts, just the best variety of options to choose from throughout Hamilton. But then you'll also find one of my personal spots for an Italian bakery at the Sweet Paradise to pick up some fresh baked goods, great deals on deli meats and cheeses. Then two other ones I'll quickly mention are the Waterdown Flower Market to pick up some fresh flowers on any special occasions, or also the Shy's Place restaurant, which is a beautiful country home restaurant offering some amazing brunch and dinner options. Now, if you are looking for a local realtor that knows this place like their back of the hand, send me and my team a message today. We'd be happy to help you out. But the next thing you need to know about before moving to Waterdown is the traffic bottlenecks and the car dependencies that it makes up. So talking about downtown Waterdown and how there are some cons associated with it brings me on to the first bottleneck, and that's going to be Dundas. As you're going to be noticing when you're driving in Waterdown, especially if you're on the east and you want to go west, or west go east, basically anytime you're passing through downtown Waterdown, it's one lane going each way with a turning lane in the middle for both ways. And as a result, there's gonna be some massive bottlenecks here. Now, the city of Hamilton is already understanding this and are working on a bypass to alleviate some of this traffic. However, with that said, until this is complete, you're gonna be noticing some serious bottlenecking around there. So if you are thinking about traveling out east to Toronto, you either want to be close to Waterdown Road, you want to be on the furthest east side that you can skip out and go down Burlington to Branch Street to jump on the 403, or you want to be living right beside Highway 6 that will give you easy access to the 403, or you can head up a bit more north to Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. Then another con associated with getting around Waterdown is the public transit. So overall, in Waterdown, you're going to find one bus route that basically does kind of a loop around Waterdown to jump on. It will take you to Aldershot Go, and then from there, you can find connecting bus lines either to Burlington or to the rest of Hamilton. However, with that said, if we're comparing it to the rest of the city of Hamilton, or even Burlington for that matter, Waterdown's public transit is definitely going to be lacking. Now, with that said, if you're just looking to take like the GO train in to Toronto, the easiest one to access would be the Aldershot GO train station, which is just down Waterdown Road and has a train going to Union Station every single half an hour. Now, these are some of the minor cons, and I know some of my friends and family and past clients that are living in Waterdown definitely mentioned to me. However, they're not the biggest cons they find. So if you want to learn the other major cons you need to know about before moving to Waterdown, keep on watching. But then the next pro about living in Waterdown is all the amazing local events and festivals. Because Waterdown has a small town charm to it, you're going to be noticing a lot of friendly faces at these community events year around. Now, the three best ones in my opinion to check out are first, the Rib Fest that happens every July 1st weekend in Waterdown Memorial Park, where you can enjoy some amazing ribs, as well as celebrate another birthday for Canada with some amazing fireworks in the evening. Then the second event you'll need to check out is the Waterdown Lights, which happens at the end of November, where you can enjoy some festive lights in Waterdown, meet Santa, as well as enjoy live music and shop at the mini market, as well as go for some Reagan rides if you so choose. And then the third one I'll quickly mention is the Scarecrow Walk in the fall, where you will be sent out on an adventure to find over 120 unique scarecrows at local businesses throughout the community, as well as walk throughout Waterdown to find some amazing prizes. So as you can see, there's lots of family fun happening in Waterdown. Now, one of the other things oftentimes my clients that have kids are also looking for is the school rankings. So we'll touch on the Fraser Institute school rankings in just a second for Waterdown. But the next pro associated with Waterdown, if you can't make these events, is there's one that's happening every weekend during the warmer months, and that is the local farmers market, as this happens every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. from the end of May to October, and has over 30 different vendors to enjoy. Three of my favorites that I've checked out in the past was these stuffed handcrafted pierogies for some of the best pierogies I've ever had. top market meats for an amazing meat selection, as well as the Jones family greens and Kalsa family farm for the freshest produce. But if you're not able to make the local farmers market on Saturday morning, not to worry, you're just a short drive away from our next pro, which is all the amazing local farms. As the three most notable would be the Drummond Farms, which is a 5 generations of farmers that have been manning this farm here with over 20 different variations of apples for you and the family to pick. Another area you can go pick some apples is at the Apple Orchard, but they also offer raspberry, pumpkins, and squash picking. Or at the end of July, you can visit their sunflower field. And then you'll also find the Dutch Mill Country Market to find a huge selection of locally sourced produce, merchandise, and baked goods. Then one of the things that Waterdown is lacking is the limited nightlife. So like I mentioned, you're gonna find a couple great bars in downtown Waterdown, a few other restaurants in the major plazas. However, other than that, there's really not much nightlife, but oftentimes the people I'm helping relocate to Waterdown are families, and they really don't mind this con right here. But one of the things that families absolutely love about living in Waterdown is the amazing schools. As in total, you're going to find 5 different elementary schools in Waterdown, 2 Catholic and 3 public. And as you can see here, 4 of them were listed on the Fraser Institute rankings. Unfortunately, the Mary Hopkins Public School wasn't. But as you can see, 3 of the 4 are well above the provincial average according to the Fraser Institute rankings, which anything above a 6 is considered above the provincial average. And then in terms of high schools, you're only going to be finding 1 high school in Waterdown, and that's the Waterdown Public High School located on Parkside Road that was also rated above the provincial average. And while you won't be able to find a Catholic high school currently in Waterdown, all the kids that are going to Catholic high school in Waterdown are still going to go to a highly rated Catholic school in St. Mary's Catholic High School, which was rated a 7.02, and it's located right beside McMaster, so it is just a short bus ride to it. Then another pro about living in Waterdown is going to happen to have the safety, as it's a part of the Hamilton metropolitan area, which the crime severity index was rated 59.5 back in 2023 by the data from Statistics Canada. Now, to put this in perspective, that's lower than Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, Calgary. However, a little bit higher than the Halton region, as well as Ottawa. Now, with that said, I would also say Waterdown really has that small town feel, so I imagine it's a little extra safe just because of that close-knit community you have there. Now, as you can see, not just based on the most recent ranking in 2023, but if we look at the 10-year data as well, we can see that the Hamilton metropolitan area has consistently been below the national average. However, with that said, if you want to learn more about the safety and the crime rates, the best place to go is straight from the source, from the Hamilton's crime map that you can find the police force that updates it regularly. So I'll leave a link down below for you to check that out. Now, before we jump on to the real estate prices, which can be considered a pro or con depending on which area you're comparing it to, if you want help understanding what you can find based on your search criteria, send me and my team a message today. But now if we just give you a general overview of where the detached homes were selling in Waterdown, they were typically selling anywhere from 1 million to 1.75 million. Townhomes typically are selling between that $700,000 and $1 million mark. And then the condos in Waterdown are usually around that $400,000 to $600,000 mark. So if you compare the median detached home sold price in Waterdown to the other areas of Hamilton and the surrounding cities, you can see that it's slightly more expensive on average compared to Dundas, Stony Creek, Glanbrook, Grimsby, the Hamilton Mountain, and Central Hamilton. However, it is similar-ish prices to Flamborough, Ancaster, and Burlington. Then if you see how the townhome median sold price compare, you're going to be seeing it's also more on the expensive side. And one of the reasons for this is Waterdown is going to have some of the biggest collection of brand new townhomes to choose from. So as a result, sells for a bit higher than some of the other areas of Hamilton that have slightly older townhomes to choose from. And then if we look at the median condo sold price in Waterdown compared to the other regions, as you can see, they are going to be newer condos. However, they are going to be on the smaller side, and that's why we're seeing the median sold price be more on the more affordable side there. Then another pro I know my clients absolutely love about living in Waterdown is all the amazing parks and conservation areas close by. The three most notable would happen to be the Smoky Hollow Waterfall, which is the most iconic waterfall within Waterdown, offering great views from the lookout, as well as even more trails to explore where you can hike alongside the Grindstone Creek on the Bruce Trail and come across this 10-meter waterfall right here. Then the next park you'll be spending a bunch of time if you live in Waterdown is the Waterdown Memorial Park, as this is the largest park within Waterdown's city center and offers a variety of sports fields, a jungle gym, a splash pad, as well as a skate park, a basketball courts in the summertime. But then also in the winter time, you'll find a great outdoor skating loop that you can enjoy. So if you want to learn more about the different neighborhood parks, because almost every neighborhood in Waterdown is going to have some neighborhood parks, send me and my team a message today. We'd be happy to discuss that more. But the last quick park I'll mention here is the Christie Lake Conservation Area, which is technically just outside of Waterdown. However, it has over 830 acres for you to explore, where you can come across a variety of fun activities, as you can hike its 10-kilometer interconnected trail system or cross-country ski them in the wintertime. You can play an 18-hole championship disc golf course here that's completely free to use year-round, or you can just explore the conservation area by boating around and fishing, mainly for pike and bass, in the small lake right here as well, or just chill on the sandy beach to help you enter it. Then a few other notable parks would be the Joe Sam Leisure's Park with many different sports fields, as well as a large dog park. The Clapson Woods offers more walking trails, Boar Falls, and Kern Cliff Park, two great hiking spots just outside of Waterdown's borders. Now, as you can see, there's lots to do outside, but perhaps my favorite pro to do outside is yet to come, and we'll discuss that in just a moment. But the next pro about living in Waterdown is the great community centers, as you're going to be finding the Flamborough YMCA with lots of activities for all ages, from the fitness center to get a workout in, the indoor swimming pool, a gymnasium where you can play a variety of sports, or a climbing wall. And then the three other notable ones would be the Waterdown Library, which is one of the newest libraries in all of Hamilton. You have the Harry Hollow Arena, which is most likely where you're going to be spending lots of time if your kids are in hockey, or also the Village Theater in Waterdown's downtown area, where you can watch entertaining dramas, comedies, thrillers, and mysteries for lovers of live theater. Now, the next pro about living in Waterdown, again, is not in Waterdown, but you're just a short drive away from it, and that is the amazing healthcare that both Hamilton has to offer you with McMaster Sick Kids Hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital, as well as Juravinsky Hospital, but also what Burlington has to offer you, as you're just a short drive away to Joseph Brand Hospital, especially if you're living on the east side of Waterdown, and all these specialty clinics that you're going to be finding around here as well. Then perhaps my favorite pro to enjoy outside in the summertime is the amazing golfing options that Waterdown has to offer you. As some of the notable golf clubs you'll need to check out are the Hidden Lake Golf Club that offers two 18-hole golf courses, the old and the new, the Dragonfires Golf Club, which is a semi-private course offering a solid 18-hole course with a par 72, Rock Chapel Golf Course, which is a perfect pitch and putt course, as well as offer mini putt and a driving range. And this is where I personally learned how to golf. And then one last one I'll quickly mention that I've recently discovered is the Pineland Greens Golf Club, which is a great pitch and putt course at an affordable cost that's run by a local family just up Highway 6. Then this next pro, I know a lot of my friends and me have fun occasionally at these ones here, and that is the Elements Casino, the horse racetrack and NASCAR racetrack you're going to be finding just on the outskirts of Waterdown, as you're going to find the Flamborough Down Casino, which has amazing horse races you can go spend a summer afternoon on, or you have the Flamborough Speedway to go bet on some NASCAR races. And then you also find the Elements Casino in Flamborough that has a variety of slots, different card games like blackjack, roulette, and Texas Hold'em. So if you want to learn what other areas might be the right fit for you, the next video I'd recommend you go take a look at is my video breaking down the top pros and cons, not just of Waterdown, but of every single area of Hamilton. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.